I think some people are not able to unmute themselves. Yeah. And when you said, I wanted to curl up and die, was your body occupying lesser space? That's question one. Was it? All right. How was your musculature? Was it contracted and tight when you said curl up and die? Was it relaxed when you said, or, it felt, did your muscles feel more elongated, longer, wider when you said, I wanted, my heart was filling up with pride? How was it? Santish, I want to meet you. I love the way she's so expansive. We've become those people, we've restricted ourselves to being just here. Yes. So this is something which is fundamental to us as movement intelligence. Even in the animal kingdom, you will notice when an animal wants to be bada janwar, wants to be more aggressive, he will expand his body. Common sense, right? It's everywhere if you see. So from mating to dominance to territory, animals expand themselves when they want to be more confident and bigger. And animals contract themselves when they don't want to be visible. We know the turtle, we know the porcupine, we know all of that, right? How is this related to PQ is that you will notice as you carry yourself through the day, your posture changes with your feelings. It completely changes. So if you get up and walk and try and embody walking when you are tired, how do you sit when you're tired? There AR creations is like, oh, right? So something happens to our body. So your mind body is very deeply connected, and your body changes form as you feel. So that's your physical quotient for you. That's the movement intelligence for you. Learning to understand our bodies and our minds as one unit, and learning how we can keep it agile, flexible, um, available to us till our very last breath. And coming to breath, the first unit of life is breath. It is also the first movement of life. So in one of our sessions, I remember in the first Mavin session, I had shared how can we just breathe correctly, or how we breathe, used to breathe as babies. So start watching babies. They sit, stand, bend, move beautifully throughout the day. Their lunges are perfect. Their squats are perfect. Their walks are perfect. Their emotional expression is perfect. So whether they are expressing emotions or they're expressing their movement, they are perfect. So the whole journey of relearning how to walk through the Feldenkrais method is about being like a child. So now when we go into movement, can I invite you to be like a child? Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais said, have fun, be explorative, right? Be curious like a child. So when we walk just now, I invite you to be all of that. Everybody's experience will be different. Nobody will have the same experience. And what you discover best, you will discover about 2 to 3 weeks after this session. It will unfold for you. Movement intelligence unfolds. So walking is obviously very, very important. And I want to show you a small scan of the brain. What happens to the brain when you walk, right? Okay, that's the dinosaur the devil dinosaur. I call it the devil dinosaur at work. Right? So when I go slow on the screens, that's it. Okay, that's our certification. We are certified as movement and expressive and somatic movement therapists. We work on mental health and physical health both. It's commonly called emotional intelligence and movement intelligence. So your brain has this beautiful part known as the kinesthetic lobe. And it's a very interesting exploration to see how and why would your human brain have a kinesthetic lobe if we were not meant to develop kinesthetic or movement intelligence. So the more you look at it, movement is life. Without movement, you cannot have life. In our teachers, and always great respect and love to my teachers. There's a wonderful teacher who always says, plants are planted and animals are animated. So the more animated you are, the more alive you are perhaps. If you see this slide, can you make out which is the winning team? Is it easy to make out which is the winning team? Yeah, the red one. Yeah, yes, Uma, the red one. The blue one.
Blue one.
That's so easy to see because their bodies are expanded. And if you see the basic type of emotions here, in happiness, you will always be expanded. In sadness, you would always be smaller, lesser. You want to occupy less space. So that's movement intelligence, very simply put. What happens to the human brain when you walk? The scan on the right shows after only 20 minutes of walking, there is so much of activity, primarily in the kinesthetic or the parietal lobe of the brain. And if you don't walk, if you don't move, let's say don't move, the activity goes down. And given the post-COVID era, we all know that we would be sitting more. So we have to create strategies around ourselves. We have to shift the paradigm of having to sit in front of a computer all day. Our postures are very important, not only for our career growth, for leadership, for our spiritual growth. It is important for our physical growth, everything. Your posture impacts your digestion. Your posture impacts your immunity. It impacts your metabolism. It impacts the way you feel. It impacts the way you talk. If you slouch and talk, your voice changes. Mine just did. Yeah. So your posture is supremely important. Please, please pay great attention to it. But when you pay attention to your posture, be gentle with yourself. Be very soft with yourself. You will realize you are probably carrying your bodies the way your parents or your favorite person carried. Your voice also would be like that. It's a beautiful exploration. Coming to walking, I'll share a few things quickly and then we'll go to movement. Of course, walking is so important. If you see the benefits of walking, improves your circulation, and I've just rattled off quite a lot of stuff. You can read on the right how it strengthens your immune system, protects you from osteoporosis. Ladies, please walk, right? And, and if you don't walk or if you don't take care of your posture, something very interesting happens. Uh, you get imbalances in your body, right? What really is posture? Posture is not about just standing straight, right? Posture is about how your brain perceives you in space and tells you, hello, you have to balance yourself against gravity. You have to balance yourself against atmospheric pressure. Is balance को maintain करने के लिए, you have to stand like this or you have to stand like that. Posture is something very, very involuntary, like your breathing. You can't automatically change your posture unless you put attention, intention, and repetition to it. So if you remember the acronym of AIR, attention, it's a famously used acronym by Deepak Chopra in his meditations, you know. So attention, intention, and repetition. If you can put that thought, how do I carry my body? You will be able to change your posture. The function of the brain is this, that it's a downstream impact. So how does the brain perceive you in space is done by two parts of your body. One is the soles of your feet and the other is your eyes. I'm repeating. One is the soles of your feet and another is the eyes. It's globally, most posturologists in the world are now talking about it. And the ones who study somatics or the Feldenkrais methods, they are talking more about it. What happens is when your feet land, you have receptors in your feet, balance receptors. It sends a message up to your brain. And then it sends a message downstream saying, aise khade hona hai. So you don't come to know whether if you're loading the right side or the left side of your foot or the ball of the foot or the heel of the foot until you start developing pain. The easiest way is to check your shoes. So pick up your shoes and check where is it worn from maximum. Please check. You've got your shoes there. Please check where is it maximum worn from. You will see that you probably have a lowered shoulder that side. You would probably see you have an arm which is longer than the other. You'd also see some very interesting things. So just look at your shoes, look at your kids' shoes. The other thing is your eyeballs. What is the function of the eyeballs? Again, with balance. Anybody who's in the medical field knows that when you have vertigo, your eyeballs start shaking like that, right? Humans are not designed to sit and look into the screen. We were designed, this was a landscape to move around, walk around. We were wanderers at one time before agriculture came, right? So our landscape was this. And we were constantly guarding ourselves against being attacked. So the main function of a human brain is to keep you alive, right? Now, if you are constantly looking down here, right? Here, down into your screen, your brain perceives that there is something wrong, kuch to locha hai, brain balance ke saath. It changes your posture. So 2-3 things you can do is to start checking the soles of your feet. Eyeballs, if we get the time, I will work on it. But right now, let's do our feet first. Before you go into the feet, one short quick video I'd like to screen share. And I want you to answer this question. You're going to see an animal. You're going to see an animal, and I will ask you this question. Is he propelling forward, or is he pulling forward? It's a beautiful animal. Let's see. Yeah. The question to each one of you is he propelling forward?
Rear part.
Okay. Yes, Preetham sir, the rear part. And the rear part, just 1 minute, please. Yes, sir. The rear part is 2 things I need you to remember. There's a lot of stuff to be done, but remember only 2 things. Your rear leg is more important when you walk. The rear leg is more important when you walk. 1. 2, the entire basis of the human body, the balance stability comes from the pelvis. Ye pelvis kya cheez hai? These are things we teach in our online classes. I'm just touching on as much as I can, just giving you some awareness. But we will do a quick short lesson right now. Of course, yes, Howard and everybody says that you can walk and that's the best gift you can give yourself. Remember stacking. How are you stacked? So are you more to the left, more to the right, more to the forward? Please remember how you walk, when you walk. Where are you within all of this, right? That's one thing you start becoming aware of. This is where your awareness starts. Number 2, these are paradigms of walking well. I'll share the screen later on. I'd rather you experience it through your body. Please remember your bodies have memories. So what the animal was doing was he was leading with his pelvis. Mr. Thakur, he was leading with his pelvis, right? And I'm an army man's daughter, right? I'm a soldier's daughter. So for me, standing up straight meant pulling out your chest up and using your spine. Hello, your spine cannot sit up straight until your pelvis is engaged. And we sit so much. We sit so much. It's like a tall building with a foundation. Your tall building cannot stabilize without a foundation. So when you go into your yoga practices, when you go into your sports, when you go into your dance, engage that pelvis. How you engage is by walking right, by sitting right. So leading with your pelvis and remembering that your rear foot is important is very important when we go into walking. That's Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais. Okay, pelvis is so important, because if you don't have pelvis stability, look at the number of problems you have, from TMJ to headache to low back pain to hip injuries to ankle, knee, foot problems. That's the biggest movement secret you can have. In my last session with Mavin, I had shared that your pelvis has these sitting bones, and we shared how we can sit better. So this is a small clip I put here for everybody else. Your pelvis has these 2 bony protrusions right here, the sitting bones. When you sit, use them. When you walk, I'll just share what you can do when you walk. You may think you can't change, but hello, you can. And that's not me saying, that's Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais saying. He's like a very famous person. So you can change. You may believe you can't, but you can. Okay. We are not going to go into this. Okay, the step 1 is to, I'm going to show you the steps, then we'll integrate it. Step 1 is to make sure that your foot lands like an aeroplane, which means that the pad of your foot, the pad of your heel lands, not the edge of your heel in the military style. So please get up once and just take 1 or 2 steps around and see, does your heel land first or does your, and keep walking as you're listening to me. Please start walking as you're listening to me. You need to memorize this through your bodies, not through external gyan. As I said, your nervous system does not know English. It knows only feelings, right? And then second thing is to start using our ankles. We don't use our ankles. And this is not just called the catwalk for no reason. Our ankles are not stable. So we have 10,000 kind of problems, you know. There is an entire shoe industry based on your ankle instability, and we spend thousands of rupees finding good shoes. If you can only start working that ankle as you walk, right? Become aware of your ankle. Leading with your pelvis means just remaining aware and using your rear leg. For now, this is good for everybody. We'll just share. How does your pelvis stabilize is by using your arms, which means do not carry your phone when you go for walking. Why is your arm important? When you swing your arm, your pelvis becomes stable. So if you don't swing your arm, and that means really swinging it from the shoulder blade, not from the elbows, you are going to walk as if you're carrying a 10 kg extra backpack. So these are the few 3-4 things I want you to start using. And now let's just get up and see. We are out of time, but Sandeep, can I take 5 more minutes?
It's already over, but yes, wrap it up with the activity you wanted to do that, right?
Yeah. So please stand up and take a step forward and try to land yourself on step 1. That's the pad of your heel. And to do that, take your attention to the rear leg. Take your attention to the rear leg, the standing leg, this leg, and slightly engage the hip muscle. As you press this heel down, land your foot forward. And you can just do step 1 at home like a salsa dancing stretch. Many times if you do it, the more you will repeat it, the more your brain will remember. That's 1. Number 2, when you walk, start swinging your arm, leading forward with the thumb and going back with the little finger. Leading with the thumb, going back with the little finger. That will stabilize the pelvis. Always do that, which means you don't walk like this with your arms stuck together. You don't walk like this, right? This all means tight shoulders. So you lead with the thumb, take your arm back with your little finger. But of course, it's not marching. It's using the shoulder blades. Number 3 is, of course, becoming aware of your ankle. How can you become aware of your ankle? When you take that step forward, you may want to soften your rear knee. As you soften your rear knee, you will find that your ankle opens out like this. Think of your ankle and your wrist. If your wrist has so much mobility while working, why wouldn't your ankle have? And a very important part is to keep your gaze out as far as you can and keeping your face relaxed with a little smile on it. The reasons are very, very deep. As you smile, your entire nervous system comes to an ease. It relaxes. So please remember these 3-4 points. I'm sharing my screen for one last time. I had compiled a few steps for you. You can take a screenshot of it. You can either engage in them. Please take a screenshot of this if you'd want. And if you have any queries, please get back to me. I'll be more than happy to help you. We have some programs online for this. It's called Posture Baithak. You could join for that, or you could come and see me personally. We are in Noida in Sector 44. I hope you've taken a screenshot. Thank you for this bonus time, Sandeep. Thank you so much. I hope you've gained something from this and develop more awareness on how you carry yourselves through the day.